this is, I'm not sure if Kathy has pressed go live yet. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe she's just recording and I'm just ad-libbing for the fun of it. Not very funny. Last time I was funny. It was dangerous. It was a real bad experience on my part. But you know, hey.
Hey, Facebook world and YouTube, I just want you to let you know that, hi, we are now live.
You know, to
And
enjoy time
I don't
with
think
one
Jason
another.
can hear
We
me.
have
I'm gonna have to try and figure out what's going on. So I'll be right back.
Getting everything ready to
maybe
go
I can find Jason and figure out what's going on and why he can't hear me.
It's cold out. We have everybody
You all
starting to
hang
stream
tight,
in
and
to
we'll
our
see you again in a
location,
second.
and filled with anticipation and understanding. It looks like we have a big table over there full of a certain kind of food, desserts, and then we have some other things. So we're real thankful that we can get together here and spend some time together. So, having said all that, I am trying to figure out what is going on. Are we live yet? That's a good question. Not sure. Could very well be. But as you know, we are transportation, and we have been able to be with you for these couple of years. We started out as an opportunity to be together and help us get through some of the COVID issues and so forth. But we've found that bringing this information to you, this show to you and everything is something that's even outside of that, something that we plan on doing for quite some time here. So everybody.
Hey, Jason.
We have.
I just have to tell you, I'm going to interrupt you and let you know that Facebook World's been watching you, and I couldn't figure out what you were doing and where you were because you couldn't hear me. So I decided to come looking. How's it going?
Good. I'm doing pretty good. So I'm hoping people can see us right now. What do you think? You think they can see us?
We're crossing our fingers. We're crossing our fingers.
Doing all this and just but
right.
So we are here and we're getting the chance to really enjoy our time, you know, that we have, and we have a lot of people starting to show up. We have people, some of our bus drivers are starting to kind of go through that food line and everything. So Kathy, what has been going on in your world?
Well, you know, it's winter, it's holidays. We're almost to winter solstice. We're almost to the longest night. Everybody's celebrating holidays, and we get to celebrate being in the same room to do this show. This is the first time ever.
I know that is crazy. You know, I was thinking about doing something funny where I was like, oh, so that's what you look like, you know, like we've never seen each other before. Or,
right.
Oh, I didn't realize you were so tall or something.
or short.
But yeah, we've been doing a show. Every single episode has been via Zoom, through Facebook, and
we've been in different places. And so this time we decided we would join Sunset Empire Transportation District at their holiday party, and we get to be in the same room together and talk about things, transportation, and basically it ends up being that we have the opportunity to hopefully get to know some of the people behind Sunset Empire Transportation District that keep the buses running, all the different pieces and parts, the drivers and all of the other rest of the team members. We're joining them here today at their transportation, at their holiday party.
Yeah, and it's so much fun. You know, part of being here live with you and stuff, it kind of feels like it's a big professional football game. You know, we're up in the booth somewhere and we're talking about things. You know, we can say, we have Scott over there who is getting into, you know, we can commentate
we could totally color commentate. And I just want to commentate on the fact that we've got the chief of operations at the grill, and boy, does it smell good in here.
It does.
Oh my goodness.
And we have the deputy operations officer who is wandering around here, and hopefully maybe at some point in time she will come in.
Maybe we can get her to come pop over and say hi to us.
Come on over here. Yeah, this is going to be our first guest, everybody.
Yay! This is how we pull them in. We don't give them a choice. We just tell them to come join us.
We have no idea.
And look,
this is Jennifer.
This is Jennifer.
Hello, everybody.
Out in Facebook world. So Jennifer is part of the Sunset Empire Transportation District team. Will you tell the world what you do?
I'm a deputy operations officer. So we work with all the drivers, make the routes, cover schedules, help the transit center.
The behind the scenes things that keep those buses running on schedule and and making sure that people and buses are where they need to be.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Jennifer, this is such a fun time of year. It just is. I could tell. We can't see her smile, but we know she's smiling under that.
Yeah. Because when people's eyes get all squinty, you can tell the smiles underneath the mask.
So what do you think about this time of year when we get to do all of this and really show our appreciation to our drivers and to the people who work with us? What does it make you feel like? I mean, like, you feel proud to be working for a company that does that?
Yes, I love being here. We show our appreciation. It's one of the very few times of the year, believe it or not, that we actually all get to see each other because everybody's in and out so often. And
Yeah.
so actually get to sit down and share a meal and visit and
Be a part of a live show.
yes.
Be a part of it. Yeah. A new tradition. A new
Hey,
tradition.
so does this intimidate you at all? All these cameras and these lights and all that kind of stuff? Okay. Oh,
I have
cool.
been here one other time, but
You have, yeah. Yes, you have.
Yes, she
yeah.
has been on our show. I think you've actually been on our show maybe a couple times. But like we were talking about, this is our very first one where we're actually in the same room.
Yeah.
Where we're not spread out and virtually in the same room. We are
yeah.
actually in the same room. So that's pretty cool.
You know what's crazy too is I have about a 99% certainty that we're actually streaming.
Right.
There's nothing here. We got to do better at that. We got to have a better setup.
Right.
But
Yeah.
right now there's just an iPhone looking at us.
Yeah. So we just have a monitor up here, and
Yeah.
this was our first go at it, and we learn as we go along.
Yes,
And that
we
is
do.
one of those things that we talk about in transportation
Right.
options all the time, is that you kind of learn as you go along. And, you know, maybe you don't wear your raincoat because you weren't expecting rain, and then there's a downpour and you learn,
Yep.
I better pack that anyway, and things
Yes.
like that. And always wear reflective things, and always wear lights and things like that. You know, you learn as you go along
You
how
sure do.
important it is.
So Jennifer, I was wondering, as our time ends here, if maybe you could go get our fearless leader.
Yes, I can.
Mr. Hazen.
I just saw him walk by. So.
Yeah.
And apparently he has some special shoes.
Yes, we're
Yes.
gonna
To
want
perhaps
to show
show
off
off.
his shoes.
So when you leave us here, can you go grab him next?
Yes. I will go
Please,
get
I will
him
be
right
so
now.
appreciative.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Well,
Jennifer.
thanks
It's good
for
seeing
joining
you.
us.
Bye.
All right.
Have a good party.
So that's just one of the people that makes this transportation
That's right.
district work, and one of the transportation districts in the area. And I will say that most districts, most transportation providers have all the different people in the different levels. And
Yep.
so the people that the customers, the riders see the most are the drivers.
Are your drivers? Yep.
And they are the face of the transportation
Yep.
industry. And we are so grateful for all of the things that they do, and the way that they greet our customers, and the way that they take care of people every day.
You know,
So
yeah.
they're so important.
You know, Kathy, and the amount of training that they go through,
Mhm.
you would not believe it. I mean, you know it like I do, but the people out there in transportation talk world, you guys need to know that there's a whole lot of training that happens from your basic run-of-the-mill, customer service training, so our
Mhm.
drivers know
Mhm.
how to deal with just people on a face-to-face relationship. But then there's just so many.
I'm gonna wave over whoever I can get
you
attention
may
of.
see us waving. That's not because we're hot, trust me.
Well, it might be, but that's a whole separate issue.
But there's a whole lot of training that needs to happen, and they go through a rigorous training just to get through CDL, how to be safe and driving our buses. So there's just such a wonderful way that they interact with everybody and so forth, and it has a lot to do with how they're trained and how they take those bits of training, pieces of information, and apply them to
Mhm.
every day when they're out there, driving the buses. So
Mhm.
it is a lot of fun. Takes great pride in seeing those buses driving around and knowing that there's true dedicated professionals. We have two of those professionals out there right now. There's going to be more of them at some point in time, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
So
Hey, there's one right there. I don't know.
if you've watched our show before, you've seen us have different guests on, and
Yeah.
we try and have different types of guests that represent the different types of jobs within the transportation district. So we've got the drivers, we've got the
Oh,
driver
got equals.
supervisors, we've got all of the different angles of things. And so if you were thinking about,
Yeah.
maybe you wanted to join the transportation district, but you
Absolutely.
don't want to drive a bus, there's also all kinds of other support positions that the
Yep.
transportation districts across our area and everywhere really need. So, if you're interested in serving the public in this kind of a way, look into it and check it out and see if there might be something there that would fit you in. And so it would be really awesome
Well,
to have
cool
more
thing-
people come join us.
What do you do, Kathy? Let's talk a little bit about what transportation options and what mobility management. You guys notice that Kathy and I have been doing this together.
Right.
It's not like we actually don't work in the exact same department. I'm not transportation options, and she's not mobility manager. So
And-
maybe Kathy can kind of tell us a little bit of what transportation options is.
Sure, and some of the things that we do overlap, but they're not the same. So transportation options is kind of introducing people to the fact that all the ways that you get around are your transportation options. And so I have often had people tell me that they don't think that they have transportation options in their area. And that is using a very narrow definition of transportation options, because everywhere and anywhere that you are, you have transportation options, because you can either use your feet to walk around or your mobility device to get around. But all of those
okay.
things are part of transportation options. And so,
Yep.
you know, those are all part of getting around. We're
Oh my
being
gosh.
disrupted here in
Yes,
the middle of
uh,
our live broadcast.
Well,
This does not look like Santa.
This is
Somehow,
Santa-
somehow I think
Jeff
somebody
has
would like the
stopped by.
spotlight other than us.
yeah, this is really
So,
cool. I tell you.
I'm just wondering,
Yeah.
Mr. Not in the spotlight, what do you do other than bring
Yeah.
gifts? And,
You know, it's this time of year that, you know, we try to recognize everybody for the great work that they do for the district and get people where they need to go,
Yeah.
want to go. And why we have this great spread today to thank them for that. But I also wanted to thank the leadership team for all the work that they do. Because I couldn't do what I do without all the employees and without the leadership team. So just a little thank you and Merry Christmas.
well, thank you, Santa
Yeah,
Claus.
you're very kind
Yes,
with that,
that's very
Santa Jeff.
So
But-
we heard
oh, yeah, yes.
rumor, there's been this rumor going
Yes.
around that not only are you Santa Claus today, but that you have some very special shoes on.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, I
Go
do.
with the Santa Claus. So
And
you
just to
have to
warn
lift them up
everybody.
a little higher because the camera's way up
It's
there.
a little difficult. I'll do
Come
my
on, you
best,
can do
but-
it. You can do it. We
So
have
I
faith.
would-
Look at those.
Look at those shoes right
Wow.
Look
Now
at those
that
shoes,
is
everybody.
some special
Well,
shoes.
there. Yes. That's our
Not
director right
everybody
there.
can pull those off, but that's what we have here at our transportation district. People that are willing to step up and
That's
step
right.
in,
We
and
gotta have,
hopefully not step in it with those fancy shoes.
we gotta have fun.
Yes, indeed,
That's,
indeed.
that's important to me. You know, I let everybody know that I want you to work hard. I want you to have fun.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I
and
think
you know, and
everybody
really that's part of our show. We,
Right.
you know, doing this for the first time, getting a chance to be face to mask with you and mask to mask with you. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot better. I'm telling you, it's a lot better going than running through a Zoom call and everything. But I'll tell you what, having our director here and so forth and seeing everybody, and I just love how the care is taken to show people that we are appreciative of what they do.
Yep.
And we were just talking about drivers and all the training that they have to go through to
And
get their
how important
CDL.
they are and that they're the
Yeah.
face of our
Right.
business,
But
really, of
we are
everything.
in the midst of, right? We are in the midst of a severe national driver shortage, aren't we?
Yeah, that's right.
And I don't know, you know, Jeff, if there's anything that you could share, if there's potentially anything that was maybe out there that we can do to help maybe mitigate that or help prevent that driver shortage from continuing.
Well, I think, you know, most people have seen the article that came out last week in the Astorian. Discussed it at the board meeting this past week, a program that I've been working on, a statewide program called the Returning Citizen Program. And this is a program where we are going to be training people that are incarcerated that will soon be getting out of prison. Not everybody will qualify for this. There's going to be some certain parameters based on what they were convicted of that they may be ineligible for this program. But we thought this would be a good opportunity for not only building the base of drivers, because we are having a huge shortage of them, but most importantly is helping those individuals be successful when they get out of prison. Because if they can walk out of prison with a CDL in their hand and get interviewed by a transit agency where they're sent to, then you know, they can be more successful. We'll reduce the recidivism rate, which is just horrible.
Yeah.
And help them be successful.
There's got to be a ton of other agencies that went in on this too, but man, I hope that we can make sure we get our share to start out with, considering we're kind of moving this forward.
Yeah, well, it's something that I was inspired back in August. One of my colleagues wrote a blog post about it. And I was so inspired, I called her that night. I said, I'm going to run with this thing. And we have. And I figured it would take a couple of years to stand up a program because I had to get the Department of Transportation and the Department of Corrections to work together. And that's never easy in state government, getting two separate agencies to work together. And we have moved mountains. Like I said, we're going to be starting training hopefully at the end of January. So we will have put this in place in less than 6 months, it's a miracle. And I'm excited to be a part of it. Excited that there's excitement around not only the state, but the nation to do this. So
All right.
I'm excited. It's pretty cool.
Well, it's exciting.
Groundbreaking program and potential, so we're super excited about it too. I mean, there's lots of things that are happening out there in the transportation world, and this is gonna be a big one. And
Will you come back
happy
on
to
and
see.
keep us updated from time to time?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, I gotta go
Thank
keep playing
you, Jeff.
Santa Claus.
Maybe you can
Yes.
point somebody else in our direction.
Yeah, that'd be
so
nice,
that,
maybe.
You can have a conversation with someone else.
Well, everybody, that's Jeff Hazen, our executive director here at SETD. We're thankful for his leadership and his time,
Absolutely.
to stop by and say hello. I think that returning citizen program is going to be something that is really cool to see.
Pretty
Get going.
amazing. Yep. Pretty
Yeah.
amazing that that's going to be happening. And, you know, as with everything, there's going to be some people that think it's not such a great idea, but we'll have to see. We'll test it out.
Mhm.
Well,
Yep.
and at the very least, it's going to be an innovative program that could be beneficial to lots of parts of the community. So I think
And
that
Kathy, I
really
want to just say
fantastic.
something right now. This little inside baseball. You did an amazing thing there, and we can see each other now. Yeah, way to go.
I took a little break there. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah. Anyway, but we can see now that you
Yes.
can see us.
Yes, and
So that is
great-
a positive
great feeling.
thing. We're happy
Yes.
about that.
So Kathy, one thing
maybe-
I wanted to kind of talk about a little bit maybe is the weather. The weather that we've been having is awkward. Some days it's beautiful outside and it's not very cold even, but
Mhm.
sometimes it's been getting down there lately in temperature, and it's hard to tell whether or not that road surface is slick. And I was just wondering, how about like when you drive, when you get up and you go, don't you have a big hill that you have to navigate on your way here?
I do have a big hill to
What do you
navigate.
do?
So the very first thing that I do is I trip check in the morning. And
Mm,
so that gives you a really good idea
Yep.
of whether there's already any accidents out there. And then I look at the weather report and figure out what the temperatures are right then
Right.
and what they're projected to be.
and you know what, Kathy?
because-
I'm sorry, I got to interrupt you there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But that seems like a really good idea for people who aren't even driving, for people who are walking and learning how to ride the bus, right? That
Yep.
they can trip
Yep.
check as well.
Yep, absolutely. And I think that those are really good habits to get into, not just this time of year when the roads can be icy, but all of the time, all during the year. Before you get in your car, pull out your phone, jump on your computer, just
Yep.
check trip check for the direction that you're going, because there's so much valuable information on there. And if there's an accident that has the road closed or something's going on, you'll know. The other thing that I will say is, keep posted, like and follow our Facebook page, Northwest Transportation Options, because I am paying attention to those things. And as much as possible, when I see that there's a road closure or there's some big event, I will post it on Facebook and on that page. So don't
Yeah.
rely on that as your 100 and only source, but it is a really great place to check and look at to see what is going on out there in the traffic world. And always, always, always this time of year, be prepared for ice.
Kathy,
Oh,
look at who we have here.
And reindeer in the wrong
here.
location.
We have a wonderful special guest here.
Yes.
And Tracy, I just said your name. I was wondering, would you please be able to tell people who you are and what you are to the district to us?
Well, sometimes when I'm not running around looking for Christmas trees, I am one of the board of commissioners for this park.
That is so nice.
Transit.
That is great.
Awesome. And
Well,
if
yeah.
you've watched our show before, you've also met Tracy before.
Yep.
We've had him on before. He's a great guest. He does a really good job of representing the transportation district.
Yep.
Volunteering and talking about, what it means to be a commissioner for the transportation district. And
And he
so,
didn't have the
Yeah.
fancy hat on the
I was
last
just
time
gonna say,
though.
and now we can also talk about, the Santa part of his
Yeah.
being and his persona, because he does a lot of work in the community, and that's kind of
Yes.
part of what a lot of our people that are involved with the transportation district are about. It's not just the bus and transportation, they volunteer in the community in other ways as well. You want to
Yeah.
mention maybe one other place that you volunteer?
Yeah, what is it like? What do you do?
Well, we help a lot of kids in
Mhm.
the Warrenton area,
Excellent.
the Seaside area, the Astoria area,
Mhm.
Great.
Napa area. So
Mhm.
it's-
And what organization do you work with doing that?
well, that would be a Kiwanis Club.
Ah, okay.
So
And I heard
Tracy-
you mention trees there.
Yes.
Oh, trees.
They came and we almost couldn't have them this year, and then they were there and then they were gone.
Boom, poof.
So we appreciate all the help and all the support that the community gives us in order to encourage and help kids. We really appreciate it.
Awesome.
So before we
awesome.
say goodbye, Tracy, I wanted to go ahead and give you an opportunity. So we're here enjoying some time, some good fellowship time with our staff members and stuff. As a board member, what is times like this where we get to spend time with people, show the appreciation to our drivers and to our staff? What does this mean to you as a board member?
Because we're able to share and be a community. This whole county is only like 40,000 people.
Yeah,
And we have a staff of how many? Do we have many
we have
employees?
almost about 36 people.
36 people that are dedicated to helping people get where they want to go.
Right.
And if in getting people where they want to go and where they need to go, that's my wish and blessing, is that we continue to do that.
Well, I really enjoy that. You and I have had a long history here, and I've always enjoyed working with you and being able to share many opportunities like this together. So Tracy, thank you very much for stopping by.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us.
Maybe if you can go hunt for somebody else to come by for us, that'd
Yes.
be cool.
Point somebody over in our direction.
I was going to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
They're cooking something over there for lunch.
They
All right.
they are, yes.
They are.
Yes, you better go over there and get
Yep.
some.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right.
All right, see you
Merry
later,
Christmas.
Tracy.
Bye,
Merry
Tracy.
Christmas to
Thank
you.
you.
All right.
Thanks for
Thank you for
dropping
stopping
by.
by. Well, I think that's just wonderful, having one of our board members visit us.
That's
And it really
fantastic.
shows that SCTD in a holistic way,
Mhm.
we all are dedicated really to what he said. We're really dedicated to getting people to where they need to go safely, securely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that really is the key. That's what we're all about, is making sure that everybody that's out there that needs a ride on the bus can get to where they want to go. And if we're talking about my job again, it's
Yeah.
not just about the bus. It's about finding ways to get people to where they need to go. And whether that's by foot, by mobility device, by skateboard,
Yep.
by bicycle, by carpool, all of those things are transportation options. And so, we are here to work on those things, and you
Yep.
are there to help people learn how to use those things.
Yeah,
right?
that's why I always love to explain kind of how we work together, because
Mhm.
Kathy's right. She essentially, in short, is developing ways for people to get from A to B, and I help people learn how to use those options and to get them on board. And I think it's just a real wonderful synergy that we have in getting those things together. I still can't wait for the day, Kathy, that we will have what I did suggest a long time ago would be to have a very nice, kind of like almost like a rocket that would take us from Astoria to here. SpaceX is developing one of those. I don't know if anybody would use it, but it can be a form of mass transportation. And those of you that know me know that I am a SpaceX homer. and would totally take a trip if I was offered. Elon, if you're hearing this, if you're watching this, I'll go. I will go.
So,
Yes.
Jason, just before we wrap up, because I know our time is
We're
running
getting
out,
close.
I just really want to, you just reminded me of something. I just had a really bizarre experience recently. So I was out walking the dogs and I was on the other coast and it was about 7 o'clock at night and we were walking the dogs and I looked up in the sky and I swear to you, I saw an alien bus, a alien tour bus. So what it looked like was about
Alien.
40 lights in a row and they were steady, they weren't blinking, and they were just going along in the sky and then
Yep.
they took a turn and they went a different direction and then they were gone.
Oh,
And
okay.
it completely, to me, seemed like it was like you were seeing, you know, an airplane or a train or a bus in the distance with the window shades open and the
Yeah.
lights on from the inside and the people doing their thing as they were on a tour, which I just thought was fascinating.
Yeah, that
And-
could very well be.
And it turns out that a lot of people saw this. It
Ooh.
wasn't just me, and I didn't just hit my head, and it wasn't just, you know, some other thing going on. It was a real thing, and it turns out that it was the SpaceX rocket dropping off satellites
Yep.
up in the sky, and it was fascinating. So,
Yes. Yes.
you know, that's a side tangent, and we'll talk about, you know, the real, you know, way future, hopefully not too future, potential developments in transportation.
Yeah.
But what I think that, you know, one step before that is that I would love to see happen in our areas and especially in our concentrated neighborhoods, Seaside, Cannon Beach, Astoria, some mobility hubs where people have options presented to
Absolutely.
them that aren't their car by themselves, so that people don't have to own those devices, so that they can borrow them for what they need and then bring them back to either there or, you know, drop them off where other people need them. And then they move on from there. I mean, I just think that mobility hubs are a thing that people are going to start seeing more often. And whether that's a shared car situation or a shared e-bike situation that meets up with the bus or that meets up with the train.
Yep.
I think that that is the future of transportation.
And I like that future of transportation. And Kathy, thank you very much for another wonderful show. I know that you have to run off and go do something real quick, and I will close this out. But
Okay,
I'll tell you what,
you talk to those people and I'll see
Wonderful.
what I can do.
I will
You have
definitely
a-
do that. You take care. It's
All
good
right, it was
seeing you.
great
Okay.
seeing you.
All right.
Awesome.
All
See
right.
you, Facebook world.
Yes. Well, there we go. We have come to, yes, yet another wonderful time where we have finished up our time of transportation talk, and we are looking forward to being here with you again in the very near future. I want to wish all of you out there a very happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you guys have a wonderful time out there. Be safe, please. Be high visible, okay? Be out there with high vis on so we can see you well. So thank you again. We are signing off. You all have a wonderful day. Thank you very much. Adios. That's about the extent of my Spanish right now. Away. Or thank you for coming. Or in Kathy's case, take me to your leader. Regardless.